We are a legit big-time basketball program. First time I've seen Coach Brownell all fall, just for the record. Nice of him to show up and see us. It's been very hot, and basketball coaches like to stay inside and all that stuff. But nice of him to come over here today in the air conditioning and join us today. But I am pumped about our basketball team, though, and apparently we've already started practice. So I'm excited about it. I think we're gonna have a heck of a team, but we got some business at hand here in football before we can get to that. We got a big challenge this week for sure. Huge challenge. This is like another opener. We just don't know a lot about Texas A&M. Unfortunately, this is. I think the unknown is a competitive advantage for them. Hopefully, our experience can be a competitive advantage for us. But this is a difficult game to prepare for us, for sure, because, I'm watching Notre Dame and Florida State and Wake Forest and, all these different schools, but yet you're not really you don't have much to watch the actual people. So we don't have a lot of video evidence against these guys. So it truly is like another opener all over again. So huge challenge, really impressed with Texas A&M, just watching in the one game last year and going back, and even though their schemes were very different, watching film from last year, just kind of looking at their personnel and just athletically who they are. Defensively, they're stout. I mean, they got some big dudes up front. At number 34 he's a earth mover. 8's a very good player. 46 led the SEC in sacks last year. Very, very, very talented. They got a lot of guys back on defense that started at different times last year. Very good in the secondary. I think their safeties are as good as we're probably going to see. These are really, really talented players at safety. I'd say all four of their starters in the secondary are probably going to play in the NFL. Pretty easy to see that. They've got size and length and great looking on the hoof type guys at backer. But impressed with them up front. That's kind of where it all starts. And their D coordinator came from Notre Dame. He was a guy that was at Wake Forest, and I was really, really happy when he left and went to Notre Dame because he was one of the best that we saw year in and year out. Does a great job schematically, especially coaching those guys up in the secondary. I think they do as good a job as anybody at route reading and diagnosing the play, reading the quarterback, and just really being disciplined on their keys. So, very impressed with schematically what they do. And then, studying all the Notre Dame stuff and kind of some of the things where they've evolved. And then obviously just the one game to go on this year, but it should be a challenge, to kind of figure out just what their plan is going to be and then making the right adjustments to give our guys a chance to be successful. Offensively, very impressed with their quarterback. And the more I watched of him, really impressive athlete. I've met him. He actually came here. I think came in camp one summer, but he's incredibly athletic. But he's got a lot of moxie, and he kind of won me over when I'm watching him run the lead option, and then he pitches the ball, and then he's 20 yards down the field leading the way blocking. He's not a prima donna type of guy. This kid is gritty and very easy to see. How he's won his team and has become a great leader for him. Really impressive. Made some big-time throws. I know they played a team that really did not match up well with them last week, but he made some really, really nice throws. Great throw on the sideline. Two really big-time throws to their tight end. 81 is a guy that transferred in there that I think he kind of fits the mold of what Jimbo has always had in the past at the tight end position. They had a nice little chemistry going in game one. So definitely impressive with 11's ability to throw the ball. They rushed for 500 yards. Let me say that again. They rushed for 500 yards. So, again, I know the team didn't match up with them well, but it's hard to rush for 500 yards. I don't care who you play. And I thought their back did a tremendous job. You know, 5 had 240 yards, and they're really talented outside. If you really study their roster, these are really highly recruited guys, highly recruited up front. They're all 300-plus pounders in the offensive line. So it's a complete football team that we're getting ready to play. Make no mistake about it. And obviously, you know, got a lot of respect for Jimbo. He's a heck of a football coach, and you know, he'll have his guys ready, and new energy, new chemistry, new schemes on both sides of the ball. So big challenge, but something that we're really looking forward to for our team. What I'm looking for is to see our team, you know, go on the road and stay focused and display our experience that we have. They'll and adjust to the adversity that's going to be within the game, because there's going to be adversity. It's early in the season. This is a huge game for both teams. There will be a ton of energy. It's game day. It's all that stuff. Man, that's fun. And I want to see our team embrace that. And win or lose, this is the type of game that I think makes you better and gives you a chance to grow your team as you go through the season. So it's exciting to be in these games, and really looking forward to it.
Coach, any update on Jordan Williams, whether you expect him to be able to play Saturday?
Yeah, right now he's just, you know, still day to day.
Coach, you guys play in some great road venues. Have you ever coached or played at Kyle Field?
Yeah. I was a part of that butt whipping we took out there in 04. Couldn't get home soon enough. That's we got destroyed out there. I remember it all too well. I remember I don't even know where we started. That's the only time I've ever been in Texas for a football game, you know, as a player or coach. I never never coached out in Texas, never played out in Texas. And I just remember it was my second year here, and we flew out there. And, I mean, it seemed like we stayed like an hour and a half away. I mean, we stayed, I don't even know where we were, but we were a long way away. And I'll never forget it. Back in those days, everybody just kind of wore their warm-ups. That just was the way things were. But we got on the buses, and we had no air conditioning. And I remember vividly getting off the bus, and everybody had their pants pulled up, had their shirt. We looked like, you know, North Dallas 40 or something, getting off the bus. I mean, we were a bad-looking bunch, and everybody was sweating, and in my mind, I remember going, "This is fixing to be a long day," and it was. They absolutely kicked our tails all over the field that night, but it was a great experience to see that venue. It's an incredible game day environment, and one I know our guys will be excited to play in, and hopefully we can do a little better than we did 14 years ago.
Make sure you get some air conditioning in the stadium.
Yes. Yeah, we're not staying that far either. I think we're pretty close by. I think maybe about 3 miles away. So yeah, we'll have a little better plan.
Coach, didn't get to ask you the other night. I was interested in how you thought Sean Pollard played at guard after watching the film, and who else stood out on the offensive line grade-wise? Yeah, well, Ankrum was our MVP. He was our player of the game. I thought he played outstanding. Pollard did well. I thought Cade Stewart came in and played well. You know, that was one thing in watching the tape that I really wanted to see. But I thought Bockhorse was physical. He moved some people. I thought the same thing with Cade when he came in there. He led our team in knockdowns in the offensive line. And but Pollard did a good job. I think all those guys did a good job. We had a couple of instances where we could have been a little tighter on a couple of our double teams, but you know, they did a nice job. Really had everybody had it up. You know, we didn't turn people loose. We had the one sack, but that was on our tight end. You know, he's supposed to be blocking. He's running a route. So that's a problem. You know, so our offensive line, you know, didn't give up a sack, so I thought they protected the quarterback well. Mitch played well, but Ankrum was our offensive MVP.
Some of the players mentioned yesterday using virtual reality to kind of help them prepare for
Kyle Field. How does that work, and kind of what do they see when they put on that?
Yeah, well, they're going to have a hard time getting prepared for Kyle Field because we haven't been there. None of these guys have been there, so they won't have anything. Virtual reality wasn't around in '04. That I knew of, but typically for us, what we try to do is everywhere we go, our video people before the game or at the end of the game, they'll try to capture just the presence of the stadium, and so basically, it's a good tool if you got a guy that maybe's not been somewhere, you can go there literally. You put these virtual things on, and it's literally like you're standing there. So you want to know what it's like. So we'll use it in recruiting a lot. So you want to know what it's like to be at Death Valley. Well, they can put that on, and like, what's game day like? And it's not like you're watching a video of game day. You're literally there, and you're turning around, and you see me, and you see the crowd, and it's like it's the craziest thing. But that's just a very small component to how we use the virtual reality. We use it to prepare our guys. We load up all the blitzes, and we've had it for probably 4 years now, 3 or 4 years. But we use it for all of our quarterbacks. Use it from a 7-on-7. I mean, they can basically run through a whole script, and because we have everything loaded up in our library, and so we can create whatever coverage we want based on the video that we have, and it's literally like you're there. And you can do a pop quiz. You can do a whole blitz pickup reel. Your running backs can use it. A running back can go in there, and he can go through a whole blitz pickup reel. A linebacker can use it. All the formation recognition, all the fits, all the calls, safeties. It's great for safeties. It's great for individual stuff. So maybe I'm a DB, and we have all the release techniques of a receiver loaded up. So if I'm a DB, I want to get in there, I want to put it on, and I want to work on my hand placement and my footwork on a release of a receiver. Or I'm an offensive tackle, and I've got all the release techniques of a defensive end. So I want to get in there, and I just want to work on my sets. And so it's just an amazing tool. You might have a guy that's hurt and can't practice, but he can go virtually practice. And and it's literally, it's like you're there. Or it's a kicker. So depending on how you set the camera, the kicker, he can literally virtually go and stand there and watch himself kick. And it's really hard to describe, but it's not like you're watching a video. It's like you're literally there. So it's a pretty cool thing. So we use that and have for quite a while from a preparation standpoint. But we have the ability to kind of go visit those places virtually, and but we don't have that for Kyle Field. We haven't been there.
So going off of the virtual reality thing, I had a couple questions. One, is there sound as well? Like, can put headphones on and kind of experience
Oh yeah.
the sound of the stadium?
Oh yeah.
And two.
Yeah, you can hear the coach yelling at you too. Yeah.
And I guess what inspired you guys to include that?
Derek Belch came to me. Actually, David Shaw brought it to me. I was with David Shaw probably, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, and we were on a trip together, and he just said, "Hey, I got something I want to show you," and he actually flew in. He came here and spent a few days, and a Stanford guy created it. It's called Striver, and this Stanford guy, Belch, he created it, and I was blown away the first time I saw it. I was like, this is crazy, and so we got it. Like I said, this is either our 3rd or 4th year, and it's just, Striver's gotten better. Now, most of the NFL teams have it, a bunch of the college teams have it, but I think we were one of the first, which is what that's why David offered it to us. He wanted me to see it, and then they worked well with us in helping us kind of get up to speed and how to use it. But it's something that's become very mainstream. I'm sure there's other companies doing it and all that stuff, and there's so many different uses that it could be. It could be a fan, fans use virtual reality and stuff like that. But it's a good tool. It's a good tool, just another teaching tool. What's that?
You remember the first thing you saw?
Yeah, we were in the team room over at the West End Zone, and I put it on because I didn't understand it. You know, my mind doesn't work that way, and I got to see it, and I couldn't understand what it was, and then when I put it on, and I'm like, wow. I mean, it's literally like you're there, and you can have some fun with it too. You know, you can be a goalie in a hockey and at a hockey rink, and here comes the puck at you, and you know, it's like, you know, it's live. There's a lot of fun stuff too that you can do just to have some good time. But basketball teams use it. I think they were using it maybe with the Warriors. I can't remember, but there's lots of uses, tons that you can use. But the first time I saw it, I was, okay, this is crazy. Just don't know how you do that, or how you can create that, but it's pretty cool.
Dabo, your offensive line's kind of been in the shadow of your other line, the Power Rangers and all that stuff. Do you think that's kind of helped them and motivated them, and do you think your offensive line needs a nickname?
They need a name, don't they? Maybe we'll take a poll for them. You know, no, I think that's just kind of the way they are. You know, it comes with the territory of being an offensive lineman, and that kind of fits Robbie's personality. You know, he's those guys have done a great job, and our defensive line would be the first ones to tell you. I mean, what they practice against every day is a huge challenge for them. I mean, you're talking about Mitch Hyatt and John Simpson and Fauci and Pollard and Ankrum, and then you bring, you know, all these other guys. I mean, we got a talented group, really talented group that I think will, as the season goes, will prove to be a strength of this team for sure.
Jimbo is known as a conventional post-style guy, but
Yep.
how adaptable and versatile is his system, particularly in the context of inheriting a lot of spread personnel?
Yeah. Yeah, well, he's added some fullbacks and some tight ends. He got a couple of the transfer guys in there and all that stuff. He's always been a tight end oriented guy, and he has always been kind of a pro set. Although he's very diverse. I mean, he'll be empty on you in a heartbeat, and then he'll get in all the bunch sets. He'll spread you out, and then he'll get into the bunch sets. A lot of play action, but I think when you peel it all back to his core, he wants to run the football, and he wants to force the issue and create the, you know, bloody your nose and create the play action. That's what he wants to do. He's always been one of the things that I think he does a great job of is his screen game. I think they've always been a great screen team. But as we've played them over the years, we've obviously played them a bunch. When he's been able to establish the run against us and win that physical matchup, it's been a tough game. And you know, when he hasn't, then he's had to get out of some of that stuff. And so, you know, that's the battle that you face when you play teams like that. But the thing that he also does is he has answers. So, you know, he is diverse and has been able to adapt his personnel, not just game to game, season to season, but within a game to find ways to win. I think that's why he's a great coach. He's always kind of taking what he's had, and then if you're taking something away, more times than not, he's been able to find other things to give him a chance to be successful. And you know, he's always had great players at Florida State. This is a really talented roster. So, you know, like I said, we don't know. I mean, we know what he's always done, and you certainly got to prepare for that. That's why it's like an opener all over again, because there's just a ton of stuff that he could do. And we'll just have to wait and see and you know, accept the challenge and make the right adjustments in the game.
Some of the throws that Mond was threading into those tight windows, I guess, did you see much of that last year? Is that sort of evidence of Jimbo's sort of polishing of?
I just think it's that. But it's also just his maturity, you know, just experience. I mean, guys get better. The other quarterback's a good player. I mean, they hung in there with Alabama last year for a long portion of the game. And then I guess Starkel in the bowl game, you know, they put up, I don't know what the final score of that game was, Wake Forest A&M, but it was, both of them had like 50, like 52, 51 or something like that. But you know, that kid's a good player too. But I think they're both better. I think Mon brings a lot of athleticism. I think Jimbo likes that. When things break down, he has the ability to make something happen. And in his ability to throw the football on the run, he made a throw on the run, moving to his right, and threw it over the top in the back right corner of the end zone last week. It's just very impressive. So I think it's just maturity, certainly new staff, new scheme, and just maybe some confidence that comes from that too. But he had to win the job, and got off to a good start.